Booyakasha! Hi guys, welcome to Lee Reacts. I hope everyone's having a good day. I know I am. And we are back with Ren once again. It has been a while. Crocodile. I think the last one we did was Suicide, which is a very great, somber, kind of like live video. But we haven't done one in a while, and this is a new one that just came out 5 days ago. And Ren is definitely one of my favorite up-and-coming artists, and this song is called Eden. It's 8 minutes long, too. It's got a music video. Let's do it. I'm very excited. If you guys aren't subscribed, please help a brother out. Click the icon right down there. I'd really appreciate it. It takes like 2 seconds. It's absolutely free. It really helps the channel out. It really, really does. All right, Ren, let's see what you got. Ren, Eden, 3, 2, 1.
Let me tell you a story as old as time.
Uh-oh, here we go.
The story of Adam and Eve. It starts with a God who wanted more. God had just created the heavens and the earth. He had the angels by his side, but they had no will of their own. And so the autonomy to love or reject him was never theirs. All but for one. The once called bringer of light.
Lucifer.
Lucifer, morning star.
They never used that name in the Bible, though.
The most intelligent of all the angels. He was the closest thing to God's image, and in his likeliness, Lucifer felt restless. He began to question and doubt God. He doubted the hierarchy imposed upon him. He felt God was arrogant. In his frustration, Lucifer built a throne that stood even above God's and declared mutiny. A war ensued. God, being all-powerful, came out the victor.
Absolutely he did.
Lucifer from the heavens and
down to earth for
him.
some reason. Maybe he was going to try and give Lucifer a second chance. I was just thinking about this the other day.
From loneliness,
it's funny.
Perhaps from curiosity, perhaps from a desire to share love, God began to work on his greatest project yet, a being that would mirror himself.
That happened before Lucifer fell, though.
2 humans specifically, Adam and Eve.
Why am I being such a nerd right now?
They were placed inside a paradise built for them on earth, the Garden of Eden. In the garden, God placed a tree that bared fruit.
I love the animations.
Anyone who ate it, powers bestowed
8-bit forever, baby.
To tell good from evil, left from right, to live righteously or to sin. He named this the tree of knowledge. God told Adam and Eve they could eat whatever they wanted in the garden, but never the fruit from the tree of knowledge. And if they disobeyed him, it would be punishable by death. The basic way the story of Eden is told
because there was
is that
no death.
Eve was tempted by Lucifer in the form of a serpent to eat a fruit from the tree of knowledge. Convinced,
this is not what I thought it was going to be.
The fruit, she passed it to Adam, and he did the same. Suddenly, ultimate knowledge filled their minds, and they realized they were naked and felt shame.
Yeah, because good and evil, they were only good.
And felt anger.
There was nothing.
He exiled Adam and Eve and cursed them with the life of a mortal. They would work, they would bear children, and they would die.
That's crazy.
The fate of a human.
Yep.
Now look deeper.
In the story, the serpent tempted me by telling me I would gain ultimate knowledge and that God would spare me.
Both were true.
This wasn't some great deception, meaning that Satan, in the likeliness of God, perhaps understood his intentions. In fact,
the only lie uttered in the
Garden of Eden was
by God, who did not end up
condemning
Adam and Eve to
death.
This could be seen as an act of
mercy, but the sheer fact that the tree existed and that humans
were initially cut off from this knowledge
may imply some part of God was afraid that if humans were granted the gift of perception, they, like Lucifer, would have the power to reject him too. The fact that there stood a beautiful tree,
AI,
this knowledge in the first place,
implies that a small part of
God, supposedly all-knowing,
perhaps wanted and intended
the humans to bite too.
In the Bible, Satan was an exiled angel of free will. Humans are exiled
descendants of Adam and Eve,
also with free will. Not only have we shared a similar fate to the devil, we were also both constructed in the image of our Creator.
Constructed in the image of our Creator.
A reflection.
Meaning our behaviors, in some shape or form, imperfectly echo his.
We could assume that this kind of
God has his doubts, but as the most
powerful
being in the universe,
he has no one above him
to turn to with questions, and no one to
doubt but himself, an incredibly lonely and isolating existence.
We must only assume that the common thread between God, Lucifer, and us is the desire for more, an eternal curiosity, a desire perhaps birthed from a seed of loneliness. If not, why would we exist in the first place?
It's very true.
The constantly looping bittersweet irony is whether gifted by some omnipotent God or simply a byproduct of billions of years of evolution, here we stand in 2023 as creatures with free will.
Science is just a description of God's boundless realm.
Good from bad. Creatures with the potential of a God. And what do we do with that free will, my friends? We willingly walk to the edge of a cliff. In the name of progress, we jump off the precipice. The empires we build ravage the earth. The natural order of things are necessary to survive. Any systems which do not honor homeostasis eventually perish. Our
Balance is
free
key.
will overrides our own biological instinct. We can take more than we eat. We can kill more than we need. We can
that
willingly
beat's sick.
create weapons with the potential to burn everything we've built to the ground. We willingly decide to bow at the altar of greed, the most insidious and destructive of all sins. We put our faith in corporations who pose as rulers. We willingly allow ourselves to be led by outdated power systems ran by corrupted politicians
and bloated dictators who claim domain and dominion over an open and free land.
Yep.
We willingly elect the corrupted when the decision was always ours to build something better.
Yep.
We willingly create and impose separation.
All right, now he's spitting. Let's go.
That we are force-fed through our phones and television
Algorithms.
sets. We always had the will to reject these things, but we adhere to them as though they were the laws of physics. War, famine, pestilence,
The laws of
greed.
physics,
These
ain't
aren't
that right,
things
bro?
imposed upon us by an all-powerful God or by his demonic adversary. They are here because of us, not because of free will, but because of our inability to use it. We must be motivated to be better, not out of fear of punishment of an eternal damnation, but because the choice exists, because we love ourselves, because we have the power to absolve ourselves of so much unnecessary suffering. Take a second to be in this very moment.
Yep. Do it.
In this moment, how much suffering is happening all over the planet right now? How many people are dying of illnesses that could have easily been cured, but aren't because of the selfishness and greediness of humanity? How many people break their backs and reject their own passions to simply afford bills and food? How many of us crave distraction from existence? How many of us numb that pain in whatever way necessary? How many children are being abused? How many people sleep cold and hungry on the streets? How many of us become cogs inside a machine that is destroying itself? How many soldiers have been forced to fight in meaningless wars? How many humans have killed for ideals they don't believe in or understand? How many people have died for the greed of another man? And how much of this was avoidable? As written in the Bible, Satan was not condemned to hell.
He was condemned
Satan
to here.
was condemned to earth.
I was just
He
thinking
lives
about
there
this the other day.
amongst other creatures with free will, who always had the choice.
I think he was giving him
and
a
still
second
chose
chance.
their own undoing.
God loved Lucifer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our self-made hell. The bittersweet irony is this is a creation of our own design. I'll leave you with this. Consider what you have done here today. You have worked together
Not we,
as individuals
them.
collaborating to form a giant neural network, a hive mind
global
capable of
consciousness.
achieving incredible things.
The
We
zeitgeist.
have lent on each other's strengths to solve puzzles and decipher riddles, and we've done so to win money. Imagine applying that same spirit and determination
To actually doing
creating
something.
the closest thing we have to paradise here on Earth. By using the power of collaboration, we can work together to even the playing field for everybody. Our dystopias can become utopias. Our Jahannams can become Jannah. Our hells can become heaven, right here on Earth. And this sentiment applies to atheists, agnostics, and believers alike. Myself, I'm an agnostic who believes. I believe in us. We must do better because we can choose to.
Wow,
We
man.
must be better.
He
simply
fucking
because
killed
the option
this.
exists.
It wasn't a song, but whatever, this poem, speech, whatever the fuck that was, slam poetry, I don't know. That was fucking amazing. Jesus Christ, that guy is so good. Ren, you fucking rock, bro. If you watch this, dude, that was great. You killed that. That was so powerful, and it had so much in there. But like he said, it all just boils down to us and what we do, man. It's all about our choices and the consequences that come from them. Do we know about them and not care, or do we actually not know? Like for me, speaking personally, most of the time I knew what the consequences were, and I still did it anyway. And that's, I guess, a form of selfishness and greed, like he was speaking of. He spoke on so many topics in this. He started it with creation, and he almost ended it with the end of us. Like he said in the beginning, it wasn't like an exact rendition of what the Bible says, and I'm not even a Bible thumper. I started as a Bible thumper when I was a kid, but I've evolved into something else now. But I do believe, and he was basically right. Satan fell because he couldn't. That's hard to describe. From what I know, Satan fell because he was jealous, and he wanted to be God. But he still loved God, and God loved him, just like God loves every creature. I'm not really, I don't know if I believe 100% in the Judeo-Christian, like for what they put in the religious text. I don't trust them at all. I know about the Council of Trent. Like I know all about King James. I know about all that shit. I know way too much for my own good, unfortunately, and it ruined Christianity for me. But I think that was a good thing because I've discovered something even better. I actually found God, and it wasn't through the church, even though the church was my foundation to find him. And I think Ren is just so intelligent, and he's so eloquently spoken. His vocabulary is great, and he just knows how to, like, the wordplay, even when he's just speaking. It's great, man. Like his flow, his cadence, it's very unique. The structure that he uses for the words and everything and for his sentences, it's just very, very cool, man. It's like he's doing poetry and haikus and a rap, basically, but it's got its own flow and rhythm to it in its own way, and it's just so unique and cool, man. Like, I really liked this. Like, I wouldn't call this a song. I don't know what I would call this. I guess you could call it a song, but there was a beat there for like a minute. But that all aside, that was just a great wake-up call, for us, because we are making these choices to destroy ourselves, to destroy our world. But we've been doing this for a long time, and it's probably never going to stop. At this point, I think it's just human nature. I think we've proven that. But we can go either way. That's the thing. Human nature isn't just one thing. We make the choice, but it's the wide spectrum of what humans can do. We do just make that choice to be greedy and selfish and cut corners and not be patient with things. And that's just what humans are. We're monkeys. We're animals. A form of them, at least. I don't really believe in evolution, but we are, I think, a form of them. Something happened to a long time ago, and now we have sentience. And unfortunately, I don't really see any other creatures with the level of sentience that we have, the self-awareness. It's interesting to think about if they are self-aware on their own level. And what else do we not know? Like, I think we as humans assume a lot of things that we know are right, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the way that we perceive things and understand it. It could be completely wrong, and we just look at it that way, and it makes sense, and we just run with it. I think a lot of the stuff that we have built our society on that boil down to people were right. You should have a husband and a wife. You should have, when you have kids, you should be married in the household. Whatever, dad makes the money, the mom takes care of the kids. That structure worked for a long time, it feels like. And we built an amazing, beautiful civilization multiple times from it. But unfortunately now there are forces that are working against just society in general. It's just turning everybody into a degenerate of some sort. Sex, drugs, gambling, addiction, everything is legal now. Sex work, like it's becoming like a dystopia, like the Back to the Future with Biff. You know what I'm saying? And Biff's future. And it's sickening to me as a believer and as a just as a human being, man. It doesn't matter about religion at this point, even if you believe in religion or not. Like, I don't believe in any religion. I believe there's truth in all of them, and you put it together, and that's where your answer is. But I think we've been lied to and deceived from the very beginning, and I think the very things that our foundation of thinking and understanding come from have been lied. They've been lies, and we've been indoctrinated in ways that we probably don't even understand, because they, especially nowadays with supercomputers and analytics and AI, they literally can boil us down to numbers and data to a point that you can't even believe. It's kind of insane where AI is now. Not on the creative art side that everyone's focused on. See how they did that? They distracted everybody with just like the artsy side of AI and like how it's going to steal copyrighted work, and everyone's just focused on that. They're not focused on everything else. Like, it's just crazy to me. We're such stupid little babies. Like, literally, like I always say, you just jingle the keys. And I'm like, ooh, ooh, you know, like it's what I do. So most humans do, but I'm trying to train myself not to do that. And yeah, we are screwed. That's what it boils down to. We need to wake the fuck up. And hopefully people of my generation and the generation after me, Gen Z, watch this video and get the message that we are the future and we are the ones that can clean this mess up if we get our heads out of our asses, because we have the knowledge, we have the drive, we just don't have the means or the will, unfortunately. I think a lot of us have the aspirations to do things to be great and to be great, but unfortunately we get bogged down and pummeled by the machine that is our Western society. But that's just how it is. I think it's easier to fix a system than tear it down and build a new one. And unfortunately, the people that want to tear things down are fucking idiots, and they have no plan what to do afterwards. So that would just destroy everything we've built. That's not how you fix things. You need to actually diagnose the problem, be patient, and find a solution, not just burn it down and see what the ashes are and try and rebuild. No. We can be better. We can do better. Let's fucking do better. Bye.